2 on, just 1 out. We'll see if Rogers can dig himself out of the hole. Bases were loaded back in the top of the 6th, and that is when we saw Fine get consecutive strikeouts to close out the Bobcats. That felt like a big momentum changer.
That was a big situation in the ball game. They had a chance to battle back into the game, but Austin Fine didn't allow it.
Powerful smash up high into right field, looking, turning, and it'll clear the wall of Newman Park. This is a Bearcats team that has not gone scoreless on the season, and Brandon Bellflower, who was due for a booming shot, demolishes one out of Newman Park.
You would have thought Catawba had the advantage there, lefty on lefty with Brandon Rogers pitching, but he got one up in the strike zone. Bellflower turned on it, and there was no doubter as soon as that left the bat, that was going to sail out of Newman Park.
When Fine left the game, he'd only given up 4 hits through that span. What a great day it was for Austin Fine. 5 hits, actually. And not just the second on the game, but now it brings in 3 runs, and the bats are going to stay hot as this one takes a bounce, reaching the wall of center field before Sam Hunter can collect it. Going to be a close call over to second, and Levi Perrell able to claim it as Mebane is taken care of.
Great play out there, getting that carom off the wall, making a strong throw to second base to retire Mebane for a big second out of the inning. Hopefully settle Brandon Rogers down so he can get out of this inning with no more damage.
Now bring up Evan Cowan. Yeah, Rogers has hit a pitcher this inning, gave up the 3-run blast after, showed a little bit of shakiness there, but hoping that big play by this infield for Catawba ends up being the difference, and another hit given up as the bats will stay hot for Cowan. And man, if it wasn't for Mebane going to second, you'd have 2 on yet again.
That outlet second base looks even bigger now on that great outfield assist. We do have action in the Catawba bullpen as Mason Gwynn is getting loose out there for Catawba.
Yeah, Catawba was hoping to ride it out with Rogers. And we are going to see Catawba quickly make a change as Rogers has now given up 4 straight big hits, one of those being the one in which Mebane was retired. 3 straight big hits and was then hit a batter with a pitch too. So, Coach Gant made the call over. So we'll see the change to Gwen, and we'll tell you all about him when we come back on Flow Sports. Or actually, it will be Mason Gwen heading his way over with Catawba still leading 9-3. Through the first 7 innings of action, Catawba allowed just 5 hits, but now come back to this one, and we see Brandon Rogers has been blasted a few occasions. Now he's given up the 4 hits, and Rogers now out. Mason Gwen in for the Catawba Indians defense. They are just 1 out away from closing out the 8th, and that is what Gwen will have to do. Just 1 delivery. All it takes for Gwen to force Rogers to Beaver to step on first there, and that brings to a close the 8th inning. 3 runs were added, so it's not over yet. Catawba looking to increase the 6-run cushion when we come back. Beaver was strong in his first few innings pitched, but they have made a change off of Beaver and now gone over to Christian Donaldson, the right-hander, 5'11", 185, a sophomore from Loganville, Georgia, a USC Beaufort transfer, hoping to halt Catawba's offense and give the Bobcats an opportunity at what would be one heck of a comeback. But, man, when you're talking about a team that is undefeated on the season, Ken, they got a chance to make some big plays here.
Yeah, never count anybody out, especially in Newman Park. Things can happen in a hurry if you put a couple guys on base. So he'll try to keep his team close enough to give him a shot there in the 9th inning. But, again, it's a big hole to overcome. But they switched to Donaldson after a nice job by Beaver. An inning and a third, struck out 3 batters out of 4.
He's got to face the top of the Catawba order. Levi Perrell, Dylan Driver, and Sam Hunter. Levi coming off back-to-back hits. Driver has reached base in all 4 of his plate appearances. Hunter's coming off 3 straight RBIs, and Bo Ruscher, even though he's been retired his last 2 at-bats, drove in runs in his first 2 at-bats. The top of the order more than living up to the hype for Catawba here today.
Yeah, top 5 guys accounted for 11 hits today for Catawba.
$15 hits for Catawba, their most in the postseason. Levi swings and misses, now 0-2 the count. Donaldson on the season, 4.58 the ERA. He's made 13 appearances, 17 and 2 innings pitched, 16 hits, 12 runs, 9 of those earned. Perrell trying to register a hit off him here, going back into right field and grabbing it before it escapes the park is Bellflower. He had a home run and helps prevent a big hit from Levi Perrell there.
We've seen Catawba take a few balls the other way and get it over Bellflower's head off the wall out there in right field, but that one just didn't carry far enough.
Donaldson on the season, 16 strikeouts to 13 walks. Has only surrendered 1 home run on the season. Catawba has not gone scoreless in back-to-back innings yet today. Driver fouls it back there. Started the day with a line drive double into right field. Added another launching one into left field. Had a well-placed ground ball that would have just been a single over to first, but because the decision was made to go home on a fielder's choice, and because of the chaos that ensued after, allowed him to head over to second. Then was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Like you said, Ken, now the all-time leader there.
Yeah, etched his name in the record book, getting hit by a pitch for the 23rd time this season.
Such a strange year it's been for Driver in that department, but someone who has been tough for this team time and time again. In danger of striking out here. Takes ball 1, 1-2 the count.
I said to him one time, I said, can't you get out of the way of some of those pitches? He said, hey, I got to get on base.
And once again, he gets hit. So that record, will only continue to grow as it's up to 24 now.
Took that one off the elbow guard. Good thing he wears that thing as many times he's been hit on that left elbow this season.
Sam Hunter due up now. It was full count, and he drilled a grounder in the center field, found the gap, and allowed Catawba to score 3 runs. And score 2 runs there, and every run now looking so much more important as that. Obviously 9-0 felt really good, but even 9-3 you feel better than had it been 3-7, Ken.
Yeah, those 3-run innings in the 4th and the 6th, pretty big to build that nice cushion.
Catawba left those 2 runners on base early. We were worried, would that come back to bite them? But credit this Catawba team for paving the way for immense offensive success. Bellflower with the most offensive success for the Bobcats on the day, preventing them from going scoreless on the evening. Have not seen Donaldson since April, so he gets trotted out here. This one squeezes away. Driver going to try to head over to second. Driver slides, and was a tag out there. Ooh, it was a close call, and you see not a fan at all are the Bobcats. But Driver's outstretched hand allows him to steal second.
That was a very close play. I think that throw, taking that hop, the shortstop had to bring the glove up just enough to allow Driver to get that hand in under the tag.
I thought he was just barely safe. Would have been interesting to take it to a replay and see how it goes from there. Hunter pops it up. Opportunity to collect it. Instead, it'll end up in foul territory. Or actually does squeeze in. They get the out. Wow. So I thought it was going to escape. And as I turn my head back, somehow I see that Brandon Smith was able to come off of first and get it. So down goes Hunter now.
I see him rubbing that arm a little bit. I heard a funny thud down there when it hit. Maybe it hit off his arm, and then he got it in the glove, was just out of our viewpoint right at the dugout rail. So nice defensive play there by Smith.
Mo Rusher, another big outing for him, only increasing his RBI count, over 65 now on the season. He was a big get for Coach Gant coming back home. Drills this one up into center field. It'll hang for a moment until Cam McNeary takes care of it. So that brings to a close the 8th. We're on to the 9th, a 6-run game. Will the Bobcats come back, or will Catawba take a 1-0 series lead? We're finding out next on Flow Sports. In the biggest moments, you have to arise to the occasion. That is what Catawba has done, 9-0. And with the game, a 6-run difference, 9-3, that Catawba has built it to. Coach Gant decides to turn to someone he has not gone to since the conference tournament and seldom gone to on the year. Trace Ofterhar gets the call to the mound, Ken.
Yeah, it takes Mason Gwynn out after getting an out on just one pitch to get out of that.
Yeah, it was a tough day for Gwen.
Yeah, one pitch, but I think knowing that the potential 2 games tomorrow, you might need Mason Gwynn for some some bigger spots tomorrow. So bring in Trace Oftahar. Hopefully the young freshman can close it out here in the ninth.
The 6'3 freshman, 190 from Lexington, North Carolina, hoping to close out the game. He's going to be facing off against Mason Poole and Rand Besterman before we turn it back over to the top of the order. Oftahar the third on the season, 7.20 ERA. This is just appearance number 12 for him. He's gone 10 innings pitched, 10 hits, 9 runs, 8 of those earned, 9 walks, and 9 strikeouts. In danger of giving up a hit here. In fact, he will. Sending it over into center field is Poole. Poole, his second hit of the day.
I'm sure his instructions coming out of the bullpen were make sure you throw strikes. He left that one up out over the plate, and McNearney drove it right up the middle into center field for a hit. So now has to bear down, try to keep the ball low, maybe get a double play grounder.
You mentioned trying to save Gwen for yesterday. We saw Hayden Simmerson in all 3 of the first round regional games come in for this Catawba team, and in each one he had 2 strikeouts to help close things out offensively. Levi Perrell unable to squeeze in the low line drive there, and in just a few pitches already 2 on board for the Bobcats.
And loosening up with a little more urgency now in the bullpen, your man Hayden Simmerson.
Hayden Simmerson. We'll see if Coach Gant decides to go to him early. And another freshman here in Oftahar trying to remain in the game, but got to be careful not giving up a hit. Well, it was actually Poole who had that hit there. So McNearney had the first big shot. Poole follows him up. 2 on now, and Rand Besterman. 1 base hit for him on the day. Struck out and also earned a walk. Still crazy that no Catawba pitchers have been able to walk. You have, of course, Driver got hit by a pitch twice, but that's it. Sam Hunter and Bo Ruscher combining for 5 RBIs here today for Catawba. Also had big RBIs earlier from Cooper Bryson and Ty Hubbard, helping to make this a 9-3 game. Catawba has had 15 hits, only allowed 11. This was at one point, it was a 15-5 was the difference in hits. So in just the last few innings, we've really seen the Bobcats take advantage of the bats. Oftahar looking for the first out, trying to remain in the game. Strike delivery that time is timely as it makes the count 1-2.
You mentioned they've racked up quite a few hits. 5 of the last 6 batters have gotten base hits.
Momentum is swayed in the favor of GCSU, but Catawba still with a great opportunity to call game. Oftahar slightly high there, making the count 2-2. Catawba fans not pleased with the decision.
That was a pretty good pitch. He just missed a little bit high, so I think the umpire got it right, but Catawba fans don't have to like it.
Besterman doesn't swing that time and makes it full count. Oftahar, 9 walks and 9 strikeouts on the season. Which one will give here? Fouled off by Besterman there. Catawba looking to hold on late for the lead.
It was a pretty good pitch there by Oftahar, but just couldn't get it past him, able to foul off just a piece to stay alive.
Up into left field, it'll be too far into foul territory for anyone of Catawba to have an opportunity at it. This team's up 6 runs, Ken, in the top of the 9th, but this ballpark is quiet.
And he tried to go with a breaking ball there. He's glad to get that ball back because he hung that one up there a little bit, but Besterman was out in front and pulled a foul.
Still no outs, top of the order, waiting to bat. Last go around at the bats has been the most successful for this Georgia College team. Oftahar will load the bases, hitting Besterman. And just like that, here comes Gabriel Worth. Man, we mentioned how due he's been. And Hayden Simmerson is going to get the call. What a monumental moment coming up. 6 runs is the difference, but it doesn't feel as safe with the bases loaded. Can Georgia College stay perfect in the postseason, or will Catawba hold on for the win? In all 3 Southeast regional games last weekend, could the Catawba Indians turn to the South Atlantic Conference Freshman of the Year in Hayden Simmerson, and Simmerson gets called upon here. He had 2 strikeouts in each of his appearances and helped Catawba hold on for the win. He has 8 saves on the season. That's good for 20th nationally, and his 7.4 hits allowed per 9 innings ranks inside the top 50th nationally. No surprise to see in such a huge moment Catawba turn to one of their most reliable and arguably the most reliable closer they got, Ken.
Yeah, no doubt he was going to get the call once the bases got loaded here, and he's done a great job on the season in this closer role. See if he can get Catawba a win here in this game 1. Set him up for the weekend, but his grandfather was hoping it wouldn't be a stressful situation when he came in here, but a little stressful coming in with the bases loaded.
Very stressful spot for Catawba to find themselves here. No outs and the bases are loaded with Gabriel Worth in the top of the order due up. First pitch is fouled off back. Worth drove one off the right field wall in his first at-bat, but since grounded out to short. Was retired at first on a grounder and then grounded out in his most recent at-bat too. The leadoff hitter has been silent for much of the game. Hayden Simmerson dialed in. I asked him after the first game he came in, just a freshman, his first regional action of last weekend. Was he nervous? He said, you know what, a little bit, but as soon as you deliver that first ball, just like any game and you're out on the mound, that's the mindset he's bringing right here. Worth, and this one finds a gap, and it will just be 1 RBI for the Bobcats, but they're trying to make things interesting late, and now trail 9-4.
Sharply hit ball. They knew Driver has a good arm out in right field, so coach holds the runner at third base, just one station at a time. Peck away here, still nobody out. Bases loaded, and some tough hitters coming up, due up now. Smith, Bellflower, and Medben. That's murderer's row for the Bobcats.
Indeed it is. Smith was quiet early. Just a walk, and then was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Talked about his hitting streak in danger of coming to a close. He's continued to reach base game after game, trying to get a hold of one here. Catawba was out hitting GCSU 15-5 just a few innings ago, and since the last 7 hits in the game have all been amassed by the Bobcats.
You have 6 hits in the last 2 innings.
Simmerson delivers a ball to Smith there. He's delivered nothing but balls now and is in danger of potentially walking in a run. Catawba looking to avoid a collapse. The lead is still 5. Simmerson gets it right there with the first strike of the at-bat. Bobcats looking to force Catawba to bat in the bottom of the ninth. Simmerson responding yet again. Full count with the bases loaded in what is now a 5-run game.
He reared back and put some extra on that fastball in a great location on the outside corner.
Fouled off by Smith.
It's hard to think about here, JT, but the potential tying run is in the on-deck circle with nobody out.
This was a 9-0 game entering the top of the 8th, and the fact that that is a sentence seems insane, but credit the Bobcats for not quitting. Simmerson, a low delivery, walks in a run, and as you said, Ken, the tying run is now up, and Brandon Bellflower is a guy who already owns a 3-run blast in his last at-bat.
As you mentioned, hard to believe the game has reached this point. But 9-5, bases loaded, nobody out. Bellflower and Mebane, the next 2 scheduled hitters. Simmerson's in trouble here.
Bellflower lifts it up. Not enough power onto it, so it's driven over to Robertson. Robertson, rather than try to force something home and risk anything, will just take the out, but that's only the first out, and it ends up being a sac fly for Bellflower. He's hoping to swing for the fences, but he'll settle for the RBI.
So nice to get an out, but you still can't relax. As an extremely dangerous hitter now, Matthew Mebane at the plate. He could tie it up with one swing.
He struck out has struck out a few times now on the game. Was caught trying to go to second in his most recent at-bat, or just caught going to second in general. As it was live, it would have easily been a base hit. Tried to stretch into 2. Driver made sure he wasn't able to. Quickly, Simmerson delivering heat after the ball. 1-1 the count. 9-6 the tying run at home plate. It's been a forgettable day for Mebane so far. Simmerson, a strong delivery. Mebane frustrated as he's 1-2 in the count.
One thing that makes me nervous, though, Simmerson's been high in the strike zone. Can't leave one up over the plate.
Mebane grounds over to Levi Perel, who reaches, unable to get the first out, but he'll settle in for the one at first base as Mebane unable to win the foot race. Georgia College frustrated, but Levi Perel gets it done yet again.
He was hoping to get that double play, but just wasn't going to make it to the base in time. Quickly recognized that and made the throw over to first base to get a big second out in the inning. So still the tying run at the plate, but a little less dangerous hitter, even though Evan Cowan has 3 hits in the ballgame.
Yeah, Cowan does have 3 hits. Still an opportunity to tie things up, but 2 outs now. Catawba hoping to close it out with Simmerson, and Simmerson does what he does so routinely, delivers a strike. Simmerson closed all 3 of the games last weekend, trying to put at ease the hearts of all the Catawba faithful on the edges of their seats in Salisbury tonight. Quickly up 0-2 in the count. Can the freshman deliver 3 straight strikes and call game here?
He's fooled him with 2 breaking pitches. Does he try to breaking pitch again? I might just go power here.
Tries for some power, but ends up delivering it into the dirt that time. 1-2 the count. Both runners in scoring position, and the tying run is Evan Cowan, who has his last 3 at-bats all hits. A grounder on a chopper. Levi Perel fields it off the bounce. Long throw over to first. Rogers gets the out. Levi Perel closes it out for the Catawba Indians. It was a close call. Georgia College is really frustrated, and we see the first place umpire having a discussion with him after it, but my goodness, that got closer than we thought, but Catawba clutches up and clings on to the win, 9-6. Wow.
Yeah, they were Catawba Indians cruising along through 6 innings, 9-0, but no quit in the Bobcats as they get 3 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th, had the potential tying run at the plate. Just couldn't get it done against Hayden Simmerson, who did a nice job after coming in bases loaded, no outs, getting out of the jam and preserving the Catawba victory.
No strikeouts for Simmerson, but still able to close it out for Catawba. Ends up leaving 2 stranded on base. The tying run was batting, yet Catawba found a way to win. What a great offensive start for Catawba, but their first 2 scoreless innings come in the final 2 innings. They scored those 9 runs early. Georgia College, the door was left open for them. The Bobcats nearly broke it down. They did for a couple runs, but their comeback hopes fall just short. Ken, your final thoughts on what ended up being a wild finish?
Well, thankfully, Catawba had that great start from Austin Fine on the mound. Did a great job at the plate, racking up hits through the first 6 innings. Had to hang on, so give the Bobcats credit. There was no quit. Probably gives them a little more confidence coming into tomorrow's action. So Catawba's got to be ready. There's a lot of fight in this Bobcat team.
Dylan Driver was great. So was Sam Hunter and Bo Rusher in big spots. Cole Hale stepped up offensively. Robertson drove in a run, as did Logan Rogers, Cooper Bryson, and Ty Hubbard. A big team effort by Catawba will give them the win here tonight. So they now lead it 1-0 in this potential 3-game series of the Southeast Super Regional. So we will wait and see who will win tomorrow. Catawba, if they win at 3:30, they'll call game and the series. But if Georgia College wins, then we will need a final game that would be due up at 6. We'll see you for game 2 at 3:30. Your final, Austin Fine and the Catawba Indians get it done 9-6. They pull away the win, even though it got close late, and they have a 1-0 super regional advantage over Georgia College. We'll see you tomorrow. Catawba takes it.